G'day, Eddie here, and welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to be making a rocker. Okay, in this video we're going to start on my build for the Toolmakers Competition 2020. What I'm making is a coaxial or coax indicator. This is not my design. It was designed by a person named William or Bill Todd. He's provided the plans for free. This is something that I've been wanting to make for a while, and I kept trying to come up with my own design, and it was bad. Let's just put it that way. His design is fairly simple, but very compact, and it's just a fabulous design. Now, I've seen a couple videos of it working, not very high quality videos, but it obviously seems to get the job done. If you're not familiar with what a coaxial indicator is, it centers your quill on your work wherever you want it, whether that be a hole, a point. What I plan to use it for is to center over a motorcycle cylinder. This is a large version of one. This is not the one I'm going to be using, but you know, basically you have to center over your circle so that you can bore out the hole. There's a couple different ways you can do that. You can do it by measurements. You can do it with rotating a regular indicator around. But the problem with that is, with the rotating the indicator, is that you're, half of the travel you can't actually see the indicator, so it becomes tiresome. And I've done it that way in the past, and I just didn't want to do it that way again. I wanted this tool. They are available for sale, of course. The most famous one is the Blake indicator. I don't have $300 for one of those, and I'm getting real tired of buying Chinese stuff and having to fix it. So especially something like this, when I have the plans, why not make it myself? So I'm going to put a link to the plans in the description. Now I know Mr. Todd, if you're watching, if you don't want me to put the link in, please let me know. I'll take it out. Just to get out of the way a little bit of how I'm going to work this, I'm going to make each part in separate videos, and then in the last video I'm going to fit everything together, and that video will be my actual submission video to the Toolmakers Competition. If you're not familiar with the Toolmakers Competition, Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop is running it. She's done it several times. I believe she's the one who's mainly in charge of it and created it, and I really thank her for doing that. She was also part of the tip splits last year, which went very well, I think. So basically what the competition is you make a tool, and my understanding is I don't have to design the tool, I just have to make the tool, and you get judged on video quality and tool quality. So first part we got to make is a rocker. I've decided to make this out of brass, and I have reduced it down. This is actual size. I believe all his plans are half size, which makes it really easy to scale them down for templates. He's got everything 2:1, so I just printed this at 50% and the measurements came out. Wonderful plans. He's got some wonderful 3D art of the thing working as well. So check out that link below. Check out the Toolmakers Competition links out below. But before you do that, let's see if I can make this part. Alright, what we're going for here is just over 4 millimeters. I want to leave just a little bit of extra just to give it a little bit of room to polish and whatnot. Our stock here is just under 5 millimeters, 4.97 millimeters. like we're getting 434, so a little bit deeper. Okay, I climb mill that little final tenth. Looks like we're at 406. 4.06 millimeters. That's perfect. We'll let that sit up for just a minute and we'll put it on. This is where I need Rustinox. Rustinox's entry was a visual centering tool, optical centering device. Because I'm blind. I'm going to take some of this area here away. This is, it doesn't say on here, but I'm assuming that since this is a radius of 5, this is a radius of 5. So what I have in the drill bit is a 3/8 end mill. That's the closest I have to what would be 10 millimeter round. And I'm not going to go all the way to the line. I'm just going to go close to it, and that'll remove a bunch of material for me. So I'm not trying to whittle that away with a saw or anything. So it's really just relief. So if I mess this up a little bit, it's not a huge deal. Looks good. Let's drill a hole. And let's ream a hole. Oh yeah, by the way, that was not a 4 millimeter bit. That was a 9/64 bit. I don't have 4 millimeter drill bits, but I did get an inexpensive set of reamers that they're not the most attractive things, but they look to be fairly accurate from what I can tell. Let's get lined back up here. Okay, we're almost there. I've got the rough shape in, so now it's just some handwork. So I've got my favorite little vise here, my little pan of ice, and we're going to start with this long side first. You have to be real careful with the round files, because what will happen is if you're going into a curve like this, you'll undercut. So I tend to go real slow because I think undercut is one of the most unattractive things. And this is a fairly aggressive chainsaw file. I'm just using it to get down to that final shape, and then I'm going to switch to something much more much less aggressive. And undercuts are they're terrible to fix because you just keep making them deeper. Got that pretty good. Let's get out a half round file. Now ClickSpring has actually a really good trick for this sort of things, where you take a bearing or a piece of round that's the same size as your curve, put it in with a nut through the hole, and so that it gives you an outline to make a perfect round. I'm not actually worried about that here. I'm just eyeballing it because while it's important to get this very round, it's not going to have to be perfect. Alright, we are real close. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish the smoothing with the deburring wheel. Now you notice I'm sort of rocking this on these two edges because we do want a slight radius there. It's not specified in the plans what that radius is, but you can see that it's not a straight line, and I can sort of understand that because this is what rides on the body, which you'll understand later how that works. And a few scratches in there I don't like. Alright, this is my poor man's flat plate. It is a piece of Corian, which is a plastic. It's very flat though. And I'm just using a little 320 emery paper first with some WD-40 on it. We're going to get the milling marks out of this side. See if I can get that up close. See what kind of finish that leaves on there. Okay, let's go ahead and do the other side just for consistency. Just going to get the same markings in it. And I think I'm going to kind of go for a brush finish here, so this is why I'm kind of just going one direction. not going for a high gloss or anything like that. I just want a consistent finish. That's what I want. Alright, that's good. Now we'll do the edges lightly, just to get the same sort of finish on them. And to just take out any kind of imperfections from the buffing wheel, just kind of round them off a little bit, as much as possible. The little facets that sometimes the deburring wheel will leave some facets. Won't be like a smooth transitions, and they're pretty much just visual, or they're not really as deep as they may seem. Alright, we're going to go to 1,000 now. I'd like to go to 600 or 800, but 1,000 is all I've got on hand right now, so let's just try this. You can see it's taken a lot of those 320 marks out, sanding marks, and that's pretty much the finish that I want to go for. I'm not, like I said, I don't want a high gloss finish. I kind of like just a light brush finish. Let me go on this just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to go up one more grade. I think I have some 2000 grit. We'll go up just one more grade. A nice piece of 2000 here. Okay, now I'm going to do let's see what this does on the non-running edges without just skipping straight to 2000. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the 1000. Okay, I just noticed I had a little hiccup here. You can see right there where my thumbnail is, there's a little line. That needs to come out of there because this is a running surface. I just kind of feel it. I'm going to get rid of the bulk of it with this fine file. And then I'm going to go back to the deburring wheel and use it to blend it together again. Alright, I think I got rid of it there. So let's go back to the paper. Now let's do 1000 first. And remember I said that this is a curved. It's not a lot. It's probably like a 3-inch radius, but it is curved, and I think that it needs to be curved to minimize friction. And it'll make sense once you see this thing working, what I'm talking about. Alright, one last thing, and this scares me. It doesn't really scare me, I just wish I'd have done it before now. I am going to hand relieve just a little relief on there, and let me bring you in for the final close-up. And this part is done. That's the finish I want on it. Of course, now some guys might want a little shinier finish, or you could also use anything for this. I use brass because I'm going for some looks here. So I mean, you could use steel on it. Just saw some scratches in there. Is it actually scratches or just, yeah, it's just glare. My fingers are so dirty, I'm getting crap all over it, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for a couple pictures, close-up pictures.